just don't want to open.
What's it do?
There we go.
Sharon Perkins and her bottle. Okay. Speaking of Sharon Perkins.
Oh, I should get this?
Sure. You're gonna have to. You know how to hold a mic, don't you?
So I just talk into it? I don't
Yeah,
hear
just
anything.
talk right in. You don't have to hear anything, because if we did, then it would really backfire on us in here. But this is the sound of which it's gonna pick
So
up.
we're not going to hear ourselves talk on the mic.
You're gonna hear us afterwards. Trust me. I'll play this thing
but it
for
picks
you.
it up on there?
It's going to pick everything up.
Oh,
It's picking up
okay.
your favorite song here, Kingdom Come. Not to say that it's your favorite, but I picked it out of your Facebook, you know. Do you like it? I'm just curious. I don't even know what they're singing about. Do you like what? I'm curious. The rock or the roll? Is it the rock or the roll that they like? I'm just curious.
I'm trying not to insert because Daddy's going to contact us. So I'm booking Kingdom Come.
You're booking them, right?
I'm
Well, I
booking
notice
them.
you're booking a whole bunch of people. We're going to talk about all that. So tonight, actually, our 8:30 in the PM show, Miss Sharon Perkins from FITZGERALDS, and it's right down San Pedro Way by Loop 410. The exact address is, once again, dear? What would be the address? over there?
437 McCarty Road,
Cool.
Suite 101 in
Yeah.
San Antonio,
Free parking,
78216.
a lot of food,
Yep.
great beer, and great company for certain. You're just exploding all over the place. You got a lot of great acts coming in. You brought in your sister as well. So we'll talk about all that in just a moment. For San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network, this is Ed Ocampo with Sharon Perkins. And we're going to throw down on an interview real quick. So here she is, without further ado. All right, Miss Sharon, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The ambassador, the liaison of, what is this, original stuff, original groups you'd like to be
Oh,
right
my
for certain.
friend actually penned me the ambassador of original artists.
Yeah.
Because how it all ended up starting was, well, I've been supporting local original artists since I was like a teen. I've been out there watching them. So I already had like quite a few musicians that knew me and had found me on Facebook before I ever booked a show.
No doubt. I'm
But,
one of them.
I went to like these shows.
If I don't put this on, the magic doesn't happen.
There you go.
But you booked a couple of shows, okay.
You didn't bring me a hat.
I have a T-shirt for you.
Oh, well, thank
I do.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, went to this show with these original artists that were really good, and like nobody's there. And back in my day, like everybody was out supporting each other, and no
Yeah.
matter where you went to see them, it was
Yeah.
packed.
Sure.
It was fun, you know, you had the good music. And so I set out to let people know, hey, we still have really good music in this town.
And sort of mimic
know,
that groove, right?
We could still be the heavy metal capital of the world.
All right. I like
We're
that.
still rocking out,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I notice you're true to your guns. I mean, really, that's what you do is you book guys like Danny Trejo, my good friend. He's a rocker. All the cats that you have on, and there's just almost too many to mention, but we're going to touch on all that. You know, the one thing that you mentioned on your profile, you said no hookups. No hookups. If you want to hook up, just pass.
What? No what?
You don't remember. On your profile, you're telling guys specifically if you're gonna
Oh,
if you're gonna post to hook up, just move on. I kind of like that. Might as well. But what do you do on your spare time, girlfriend?
I'm actually,
You're a
well, I
ballerina,
work on a lot of stuff
aren't you?
with the music.
Okay.
So that's a lot of my spare time.
Yeah.
Watching movies. I started this year, maybe starting last year. I started getting out to saw some artists I really like again. Like I
Okay.
saw the can't talk, sorry.
That's all
I
right.
saw the Counting Crows for the first time.
Oh my gosh, they're a
And
great band. I love
I
their
love
acts.
them.
Where'd you see those cats at? Had to be
They
a big
were at
venue.
the Majestic.
At the Majestic, out of
Which
sight.
is-
Great venue too.
That's like my favorite place to see a show as long as you're on the floor.
Yeah.
It's,
It's got great acoustics, no matter where you're at.
oh, they do.
So counting, you know, those guys, the Crows, they're just, they're like, for me, they're not so much metal, but they're a classic rock, classic rock band with
Definitely,
a lot of catchy phrases,
they're definitely more 90s style. They're not.
They're not the metal,
They're not the metal. They're not the grunge.
but they're everywhere,
kind
and they're
of.
everything, right? Their style of music is like
They've
everything.
got the best, like their music. And it's funny, they have so many members now. So,
Well, the two brothers had been arguing for a long time, but they always kiss and make up.
well, the guy's up there talking. He's like, yeah, we did a show with so and so, and he was in the band and stuff, and we're hanging out. I'm like, you need to join my band. So he's got all these members now. He
Oh,
just
that's
adds
fantastic.
everyone to their band.
I don't keep up with hardly anybody, but I love to hear the stories. So, regarding, let's say, the lady behind the brand Fitzgerald's, that would be you. You're queen, whether you like it or not, really. And you
I
brought
think
in your sister. So that was just this last year, was it not? That your sister joined forces with you?
No, my sister actually.
Has she always been?
Jesse, when Jesse owned it, he was going to sell it.
Okay.
So,
Now, this is word by Fitzgerald's here.
yeah, so I just.
There was a guy by the name of Jesse, and he sold the product to you.
Yes,
Fitzgerald's.
so. Well, he sold the music venue to us.
Okay.
So I told my sister, you should help me get Fitzgerald. Jesse's going to sell it. And she had been to one of my shows, and probably just the one. But she had been to that one show, and she was complimenting me on, she goes, you can tell everybody just really likes you or they love you.
Ah,
And I didn't even think about it because it was just like my life at the moment.
sure.
And
And of course, the business.
but it's been my dream. When I was young, I worked at a bar and grill for 7 years. So, which is
It's not
a
far
long
from
time to
Fitzgerald's.
be in one place like that because the service industry people
Sure.
tend to be moving around a lot.
Yeah.
But I was there for 7 years before I went in the corporate world.
Wow.
And it was always my dream to have a bar, and then it became my bigger dream to end up with a music venue.
That's
And
so solid.
with my sister, it's kind of happened now, and and Jesse, and
That's fabulous. Fitzgerald's not in association with the Fitzgeralds from Houston. We were talking about that off air.
yes,
And so it has nothing to do with the Fitzgeralds in Houston. They now are defunct. They're no longer. So there's only Fitzgeralds here in San Antonio. And I'm talking to Miss Sharon Perkins at this very moment.
oh,
So many bands. Who's a personal favorite? Out of all the bands of which you bring in, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. But if you were to just concentrate on, I don't know, your favorite out of the bunch, and maybe if you want to mention a couple of them, would be cool.
it's hard to pick just one.
I'm sure, because they're all rockers, man.
I
I'm going to tell a
used
story about
to
that soon.
say Jessica was my unofficial favorite. They're not really a thing right now. But Seance and Bifist are right up there on my list. And then there's a lot of new people like Surge that's come out.
Mm-hmm.
One of
See, I'm
my
surprised
new
that you
favorites.
keep up with all these guys. There's no way that I could. What about this Lamari Tones? What is that?
Oh,
Japanese
They're
act.
a Christian. They're
Christian
the
rock,
first
Christian metal.
Christian metal band from Japan.
I dig the whole concept. That's for sure.
Yeah, so they'd reached out to me,
Yeah.
and then I really thought, oh, they're going to win all kinds of money and stuff. So then, and then, with me right now, my time is limited, and right now I have my own shows on top of the Fitz shows, and of course all my shows are at Fitz, but
Right.
then I have shows with Texas Revolution LLC, and I have other shows with Silver One Productions. So
So you're basically marketing with all the big boys now. You're getting there.
well, I've had a Sharon my whole life. I was born on my sister's birthday.
Oh my goodness.
So,
What a
yes.
gift.
So it's like I'm used to sharing my birthday,
Uh-huh.
and my name's Sharon. So Sharon. Anyway, so
Sharon,
You know,
you're
I
sharing
figure-
right now.
share
You're
the
still
love.
sharing.
yeah, if there's somebody
You're
that I
sharing this,
trust,
sharing that.
hey, you want to do this show? And then lately it's kind of been like where I end up I end up doing it with them. But anyway, I reached out to Mike from Silver One Productions, And no, Silver One Events. I'm sorry, Mike.
Silver
Rose.
One Events. Yeah, I saw a whole
Yes.
bunch of events. A whole bunch of people dropping names on their production companies. Crazy
Yes.
like.
So
It's a bunch
he,
of them.
I said, how would you like to, help me bring this Japan band? And it turned out that they're just really easy to work with, and now they're very excited about San Antonio
Yeah.
because we booked not just Denny Bowman is it? You know Denny?
You know,
You
all
need to
the
know
names,
Denny.
I need to
Anyway.
know them, but listen, all the cats of whom I hear about, I've run across at some point or another. So that's the weird thing about being me.
He used to be in a very popular band that just had their reunion show at Fitz not long ago.
What was it?
Napoleon Machine Gun back in the
Napoleon
Skeeters
Machine
days.
Gun, yeah. Then I know
Yes.
the cat.
Well,
Sure.
now
Not personally, but yes.
Denny's does his own Christian acoustic stuff.
That's wild how we all turned Christian at some point in time. I did.
And so he hit me up. He's like, "This is the perfect gig for me. I'm the Christian artist." So I'm like,
Why don't you
yeah,
have the
so
Japanese along with Denny?
So I told Mike, hey,
Have a
we had
Christian
my
night, why
friend
not?
Denny, he's the Christian guy. And then a Christian rock metal band reached out to me.
What
They
about
wanted
putting
to
him
play.
back? What about putting him on the same bill? What do you think about
No,
that?
that's what we did. We added them
you
to
already did
the
it?
Mari Tars. And Mary, oh God. What are their names?
There's a bunch
the
of
Mari
names.
Tones.
I can't even read my writing.
Yeah, it's Amari Tones.
Lamari
the
Tones.
metal
Yeah,
Christian
from
band
Japanese
Japan.
metal.
And then,
So you mixed him in with that cat.
yeah, and we got Ron Jazambek's new band, new metal cover band tribute. It's a tribute to not Metallica, Merciful Fate, Queensryche, and Judas Priest.
There's a bunch of them. There's
So they're
Alice
on
in
the
Chains
bill.
tribute bands. There's a whole bunch of them. There's Tool, APC. Who is that?
Oh, that's
An Alice in Chains tribute. So there's a bunch of
Alice-
tribute bands,
yeah.
man. How do you see that in the marketplace? You know, because our good friend used to do a whole bunch of Kiss. And there was Andy Garza that was in that, and Emilio naturally was the head of
Yes.
all that. And at the beginning, I think they were about the only tribute band you had. And then all of a sudden, tribute bands came out from all over the place.
oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like people.
Well, how do you feel about that? I mean,
Personally,
yeah.
I think it's a little crazy how much people go
I know it was
out
crazy.
and they'll go see these tribute bands, and I get it. It's the music you love.
Sure.
But they're out there supporting all these tribute bands, and meanwhile, there's like all these great original artists,
Yeah.
and
That need their
they won't
airplay
even
too.
give them a chance. And
Thank
I'm like,
you. Well, that's what I was trying to get
well,
at.
AC/DC used to. How did they get their start? They were nobody until you went and
And I was
actually
going to start the
saw 'em.
show with AC/DC. I really was, but I just picked something from your profile just for the heck of it.
Well, Guns N' Roses got their start playing backyard parties and stuff.
Yeah, same thing with Van Halen.
And
Same thing with my band, Crystal Winter. Anyway, we
Yeah,
never made
so
it big
it's-
time.
it's crazy to me that these I think people forget that these bands were once somebody you didn't know.
Right.
And I'm having a big brain fart on their name. What other bands do you have there? Because one of my new favorite bands is I'm having a
I almost hated to go down the list. I have Lamari Tones, Tool, the tribute bands, right? Texas Bay, Three Legend. What is it? Three Legend
that's
Dig.
the Alex and Tribute and the Tool bands.
And our own Danny Trejo, I mentioned him. But that's neither here nor there. You've got them all over the billboard. So you've got all these shows already pegged, and that's a good thing. My gig is this. What is the history of Fitzgerald's? Now, it started with somebody else, right? And then he kind of petered out or whatever it was. He decided to sell out, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I decided to sell the barn.
And then you bought it. But how long was he in business prior to you? Because I could have sworn I'd heard of Fitzgerald's for years, but I didn't know that there was one here.
Fitzgerald's opened in 2012,
Okay.
And then me and my sister took over in the latter part of 2017.
Okay, so that's what it was.
And
That was the groove I was feeling. So for about 5 years, it belonged to somebody else at this locale or the one in Houston.
no, Houston's not involved with
Not
this
at
one
all.
at all. They're
Okay,
not.
cool.
They've never been connected.
Okay. You know, and that's what I'm wanting to clear up. So Houston was never connected, guys. Period. Flat out. You're hearing it from the boss lady here.
No.
Flat out.
And neither is the one in Chicago. There's one in Chicago now.
Oh my goodness. See, that was the other thing I wanted to discuss.
For a while, everyone from the Chicago Tribute
It's kind of
was
Irish, isn't it?
joining.
Fitzgerald's?
Well, yeah, it's Irish. It might fit better in
Should sell
Chicago.
green
I
beer.
don't know.
Should sell green beer. I bet it'd be a hit.
Well, we
Or
probably
green tacos.
you need keg beer, I think, for that, and then you add the little green to it.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Everyone was joining our Fitzgerald show group from that hung out, I guess, at this other Fitzgerald's in Chicago. So one day, some chick post on there, well, anyone who's been out, be careful because I've got COVID now and you
Oh,
better
great.
get tested and blah, blah, blah. And then I sent her a message and I said, you know, this isn't the Fitzgerald's in Chicago and I'm going to remove your post,
Oh my gosh.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Politely.
this is for shows at our venue, not for, you know, y'all to have little group chat and let the whole bar know, hey, I'm dying over here.
Oh no. I had a gal just today tell me she had COVID, a friend of mine. And I'm like, maybe we should not go out. We should not get together, you know. She's a friend of mine. And then I told her I was having you on the show, and she said, we'll go to Fitzgerald's. I don't think they'll want you either. And anyway, she tells me she tested negative twice.
Oh, there
But she
you go.
tested positive once. I'm like, you know, you have two good things going for you and one bad thing. Well, maybe time will tell, and we'll see. I
Well,
don't
when
know.
did
I'm not
she-
in any hurry.
When did she test negative? Because
Just the other week, just last week, and today she's negative. She
Oh.
tested positive the other week. Now we're airing all of her trash. Yeah, tested positive last week, and this week she's negative. And again, negative on two different tests. I'm like, I don't know. I'd go get tested at HEB, you know?
well,
She's doing it on her own thing. I mean, for all I know, she could be sick as a dog.
I know this because of my business, but they've changed. Like, you know, before
Mm-hmm. The
they used to
rules?
say, yes, you had to be in quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
Now they're like 3 days later, you can go on with your business.
Huh.
So she was smart to get retested
Yeah, she has.
because now she's fine. So y'all could have come to Fitzgerald's if we were open on Sunday.
Well, you know, that's the thing. We might make it tomorrow night. I really don't know. And it's dependent on whether or not she wants to get together. But, you know, we're not going to give her any more credit. That's it for her.
You should come out, get a Heineken.
Yeah, you know that's what I drink. Thank you.
And now I know you're like a straight shot.
Yeah, well, you're not very far from here, were you? You come from Verde, is that correct?
Yeah, you know, well, my son used to have friends that lived not too far from here. And I would always take Verde to get to their house. It was just in a quicker way to cut over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and depending on traffic, and I heard 1604 and 281 is a mess.
You know, I don't think it's, oh, well, yeah, down 1604, it's a hideous mess. I mean, what we used to consider, you know, cool breeze at 1604, that whole thing is backed up all the way from San Pedro to Blanco and then past to Bandera. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah, and it's
I
good.
can't imagine why they're doing that building. They're adding, I think, another 2 road, and it was just a double lane highway anyway. But over here from 281, San Pedro from your place, it's a cool breeze, man. So I didn't know where you were coming from.
Yeah,
It's a
but
cool breeze straight out.
I would
281.
I would have to take, to get to 281,
Mm-hmm.
I would take 1604 if I went that way.
No shit. Oh well, from where you're at.
Yes.
Okay.
And from what I hear, it's
Well, that part of
backed up
1604
at
would be
all.
good. That it would still be okay, but neither here nor there.
I
Actually,
like my nice scenic route.
yeah. The scenic route is always the best. Why not take a little
yeah.
trip down?
Have they built
It's
it up?
beautiful out there. It's still a mess. It's still. I went over there 2 weeks ago, and it looks like they're digging a gully That's what it looks like right now. It doesn't look anything like any streets that I've ever seen. I wanted to ask you, who's your favorite girl band? Because, I'm sure you want to give kudos to the
Favorite
female
girl
bands, but
band.
yeah, the favorite girl band. Or if you could just mention a couple. Maybe we don't want to put you on the spot and say favorite, but some of the girl bands that you've had at Fitzgerald's.
I have a lot, but I think that, well, Jessica had always been one of them.
It's called
but
Jessica Kill. Is that what it is?
Jessica
Jessica Kill. Now she's sister to
is Jennifer Espinosa. Very talented. Both
one of
of
them
them.
is a sister to Casey Cortez. Casey, actually, she's a singer for. Now I'm having a brain fart now. Valmora's band. I don't know, but one of them is a sister too, and I've been told to interview all of them. So anyway.
Okay, well, if I was to pick someone right now, I would definitely probably say Drowning Mona.
Drowning Mona.
Of course, it's female fronted, but that
Yeah.
band and
It has
Lisa,
guys in it too, though, right?
Yes.
Which one is the one that Lacey Love plays keyboard for? Any idea? Because she plays
didn't-
with one of these bands.
Didn't she just start playing keyboards for Jessica's
I think
new
so.
band?
Yeah.
So like the
Because I saw
Dio
that
tribute?
video that was really loud on your stage. You had a couple of guys that I've known for years, Emilio, one of them, I think, on bass. And then, I can't remember. Another
That's
lead
Emilio.
guitarist.
Jessica's fronting it.
Yeah.
And then they have Lacey Love playing the keyboard.
Yeah. They sounded really good. It sounded loud. I was like, louder, yeah.
That's a tribute to one of my all-time favorite bands, Dio.
Dio. Okay. Yeah, that gal has got a set of lungs, man. She can sing.
Oh, they
She
do.
can sing. And those guys are great players, too. I don't know who the drummer is, but what I saw was really cool. Really good.
Yeah, they're good.
So, when did you know that you were the boss of Fitzgerald's? I know you don't like to be
When did
talked
I know?
about. Yeah, when did you know exactly? Well, actually, when you bought the place out. But how did you go about deciding whether or not you would be the one or your sister would be the one? Was it always that you were in the lead?
Well, my sister
this
helped me get the venue.
Okay.
She was basically the money. I was the manager. So
Okay. Well, you
I was
knew about the
always
business.
the boss. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
what I'm saying. Yeah, you always knew about the business, and she was your front on the cash end of things. Together, you make a great crew, right?
Yeah.
That's how that worked.
I remember when we were first taking over, I'm sitting there with the one bartender, and it's like one of those things. People say when you take something over, you should get rid of all the staff, get your own staff.
Yes.
Well, I was already there. I was doing shows. I started, Jesse didn't really trust anyone, but I think his son just didn't want to be the one at the front door anymore when they had their own shows. And for whatever reason, he trusted me. So I started doing the door for him, and I was booking shows out when we still had the big yard area out there and another stage. And I had my own shows there. And anyway, so I already knew these people because I worked with them.
Your history.
Yeah.
Your history put you
So
there.
I never thought, let's start fresh with any of them. I just
Sure.
kind of kept everyone.
That's
But
good.
so we're sitting there.
I
and
would have.
Yeah, the one guy basically the one bartender just goes, yeah, well, Marcus will just take care of everything over here with the sound, and I'll just run everything with the bar, and you could just stay back there in your office, chill
That
out.
didn't happen.
I'm like,
that didn't happen.
no, I'm like, I'm pretty sure
Your hands on.
that not just me, but my sister always also expects me to be the manager here. I'm
Well,
sorry
sure.
if you thought that I was going to take over and suddenly you'd be some big cheese on campus.
Oh my
but,
gosh. How dare
But
you?
it was bad because it just put me on the spot. I knew after that he wasn't so happy with me. But,
Well, that's when you fire. That's when you can somebody.
well, I didn't do it.
Well, it's okay.
because I'm nice, but we shouldn't get into that.
No. I'd rather get into the ghosts. This
Oh
is
my
this
gosh,
is really
we have to talk about that?
This is really getting kind of trippy, guys. Fitzgerald's, this rock bar of which girlfriend is the boss of, Sharon Perkins. You have a guest there that lives there, a spiritual
A
guest,
few,
right?
probably.
A few, you think? Oh my gosh. What? Tell us about that group. How did you come about actually learning that presence was there, or presence is?
Oh, I think,
And what makes you say that too? So it's a triple question.
well, people had claimed already, like they heard footsteps on the stairs.
What
You know,
stairs on
The stairs that go up to our green room.
Okay.
So when nobody,
Okay, yeah.
no one else is there and nobody's up there, no one's on the stairs, but they'd hear footsteps on the stairs. Jim has seen, now he says that sometimes there's different people sitting there, but on the stage side, where there's another set of stairs,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
probably seen when you've been on the
Sure,
stage,
sure.
goes up to the green room that way. There will be a guy sitting there with a cowboy hat on and a white shirt,
That's me.
and he's seen him. Well, but it's not you. 'Cause
No, I'm
you're
just
still
kidding. I'm
alive.
only joking. Sorry.
Unless you have
Okay.
a way to transport yourself over there.
No, I'm just
That's your
dreaming.
energy.
No, it wasn't me anyway. But anyway, he actually sees
He sees
someone in
him
a chair with a white shirt and a
sitting
cowboy
on the
hat
stairs,
sitting on the stairs. And what's that cat doing?
enjoying the music.
Oh my gosh. Enjoying the
He's
music.
like watching the music,
Oh
and
my
Jim
gosh.
says when he
And who
looks,
was this that saw him? Who was
my
it?
sound engineer Jim, and he says when he looks again, he'll be gone.
Oh my gosh. And he can't find him anywhere in the audience either, right?
And probably, I don't know if you saw the video with the big orb.
No, I
that
haven't
was
seen
outside.
that. Who did that and what video was it? By all means.
Who did the video?
Well, yeah, I mean, just tell me about the video, not so much who did it, who took it, but if you
it
want
was
to, you can.
recorded on our video camera,
Okay.
and it was the end of the night. And
Was everybody gone, or was still people there?
Big Al had just left to go to the bar he was at the night before. His friend was taking him because he left his ID or something over there, and they were coming right back. Like they left one car here. So I was there, and I'm in my office, and I was closing up for the end of the night, and I just glanced up on the video, and I thought someone was back there with their flashlight for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like calling Al, "You're coming back, right?" "Yeah, we'll be right back." "Why?" And I said, "I think someone's like, fishing around back there."
Oh, I think you even put that on Facebook, like
Yes.
somebody was out there or something.
That's what I thought at first.
Only Toledo.
But then I started watching the video closer, and I actually like rewind it, put it on playback, and I rewinded. I'm like, wait a minute, no one can do that with a flashlight. So then
Oh, no.
when they show back up, I'm like, nobody was back there. It's like a ghost or something, it's like some other entity.
Oh my.
So then I had like recorded it on my phone, but I ended up taking the better recording that they recorded, and downloading it, so I got a
Yeah.
good recording. But it just was so weird. It was down like, how the stairs go down into the lower
Yeah, from the
area.
stage. From the
It was
stage.
down there, and then it.
Where the guy was.
Huh?
Where the guy was. Where the guy was sitting, watching
No,
the
because
music.
this is outside
Okay.
on our back patio.
All right.
Well, it was down in
Oh,
like
my
the
Lord.
alley lower part.
Yeah.
So it's down
That's
there.
spooky, man.
Yes, and it comes up and it kind of perched on the railing right there for a second. And then it shoots where you can't see it because it shoots on the patio. It comes back this way after a minute. You see it come back from the,
Oh,
nothing
my
that a
God.
flashlight could do with someone like
No way.
standing somewhere. So
Yeah.
it comes back this way, and then it just suddenly just shoots up.
That's an alien, man.
And I'm telling you, it was
That's an
huge.
alien. Oh my God,
But
an
I think
orb.
the Hennessy bottle was
I mean, have you ever asked it? Have you ever said anything like, "Leave me alone," or "Who are you?" or "Why are you?" Nobody's even asked, right? They're just too dumbfounded.
I don't talk about it, but me and Diana Alexander, we both think that old Mikey is there, and he was trying to get the bullet.
He was trying to get what?
The bullet?
The
Because
bullet.
he loved bullet. Did you know Mikey?
No, not really. No.
He passed away 2020, I believe.
And the bullet is what? A shot of whiskey or something?
Yeah, it's a bullet bourbon.
I knew about that one.
Yeah, it was his favorite.
Bourbon.
But we have these pints up on this shelf.
He was reaching.
And
Oh
no,
my
the first time
God.
it happened,
He's a drunk. He's a drunken ghost.
I don't know, the pint
He's
of
a happy ghost.
the pint of Hennessy looked very controlled, going down like this, and then it hits between the bullet and the Bushmills, and then it falls to the ground behind the bar.
Oh my gosh, man.
It made
That's
the-
somebody's trying to tell you something, girlfriend.
It didn't even break. And it made the loudest sound. I was like away from the bar talking to Little Comet's parents, and we're chatting, and then I'm like, what was that? And his dad's like, oh, your bottle fell on the floor.
After bouncing off the wall
And yeah, I,
and
was like,
somewhere
I
else.
thought I must have sat, one of our leaders too close to the edge or something, didn't put it back where it goes, and
Fat chance.
it fell. But I'm walking up and I'm like, that's a pint. The pints are way up there, haven't been touched in God knows how
Oh
long.
my gosh, man.
So that's
he
when
was
I-
trying to tell you something. Maybe
That's when I
that's what he
watched
wanted
the
to drink,
video.
huh? And put that bad boy out there. That'd go
Oh, no.
viral.
About a week later,
Oh, there's more, guys.
it happened again.
Oh, heck.
This
Oh, no.
time, when I watched the video, it looked like someone mad pushed that pint of Hennessy.
Yeah.
Like it was just like mad. Or like I said, it's old Mikey trying to get his bullet. So it was like pushed really hard, and my purse just happened to be right there randomly.
Don't tell me it fell on
But
your
it-
purse.
No, it actually, same place between the Bushmills and the bullet. And it knocked the bullet over, and it knocked the Bushmills over, which leaked out a little bit.
It's better than Domino's.
But yeah, the Hennessy didn't go any farther because of my purse, kind of stopped it. But
Jeez, man. Everybody stops at money.
but
Your
it's
purse.
weird.
Your
Like I
purse.
said, people have heard footsteps on the bar, and it's crazy. We
Wow.
should probably talk about the music, huh?
Well, no. I think that everybody would like to know something about this, but I'm more curious probably than most. But I mean, have you given it a name or no? Or that entity a name, or
No.
do you think that there are different entities?
I'm pretty sure there's more than one.
Really? What makes you think that? Because too many weird things happen?
Well,
Or do you get a different smell or a
like
different
the
act?
Hennessy bottles definitely seem like they have to be someone different than like that big orb outside.
Oh my, what if
And
it's trying to
then-
tell you how to stock? Yeah, don't put it over here, put it over there. We're crying out
You've
loud.
had this bottle of Hennessy too long. Sell it.
Yeah,
I
sell
put
this
that
bad
sucker
boy.
in my office, just so you know.
What?
I was like, that particular pint has to go. So I stuck it away in my office.
No shit. What if it goes over there and picks it up from your office? That'll be a really
Well,
trippy
nothing's
thing.
happened in my office that I know of.
Praise God.
But
Knock on wood.
it seemed a little jinxed
The bottle
up
did.
there.
So you pulled it? And
Yeah,
you-
I'm like, there's still other bottles of Hennessy up
My
there.
gosh. Well, that's a good way to deal with the ghost. Is take away his playground,
Yeah,
and it would be the bottle of what was it called?
Hennessy.
What is it? What is it?
Hennessy.
Hennessy? I don't know.
Hennessy, it's like a cognac thing.
Yeah, it sounds like kerosene to me, but yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
cognac.
drink it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's too thick of a drink. I don't know what it
Nope.
is about that kind of drink anyway.
but then there's the
This is a big question. Got to ask you, why do you think it shows up then? I mean, because it shows up at different times, or is it always?
different.
We're talking
haunts.
about a ghost at FITZGERALDS, ladies and gentlemen. And we're nice and cool and calm and collected about it.
We used to have I know some of them left because we used to have a lot of orbs flying around randomly. And normally it'd be closer to like the end of the night when everyone's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And I felt like they felt safe flying around. There was times I was in my office and I'd look and I'm like, oh, it looks like that one's following Corky around.
Oh my gosh.
Corky doesn't want to know nothing about that.
Oh, of course not.
If
Corky,
you come up tomorrow,
he'd probably run.
don't say anything.
Corky, no, we're not going to tell that the entity is chasing you, Corky. We're never going to mention that ever, ever at all. But he's chasing you, okay?
I told him, he just doesn't want to know.
Oh man, so you must turn white at that. Corky.
He doesn't want to know nothing.
I know nothing. I see nothing. Nothing.
Yes,
Nothing.
that would be Corky. So,
no, that's terrible, man.
But yeah, there was a whole line of orbs, I think, that they moved on. So that was good because they were just in the same spot forever. And I can't tell you how many times I went out there and like you pick up stuff for whatever reason on the video cameras that you don't pick up just looking.
Yeah.
And I would go out there and make sure, okay, there's not a spider web there. There's like nothing this can be in that spot.
I've had some issues. I've had some stuff happen. But this was in Austin. I went to Austin to go play with Stevie Norman. He called me and said he was playing on 6th Street. So I went to go see him, and he's part of Crystal Winter Band. And he had a different bass player because our bass player, Rick Rod, had passed away. A great, colorful bass player, which was a staple here in San Antonio, yeah. But I went to go ask Stevie if I could sit in with them on 6th Street, of which I've done a number of times, a bunch of times, actually. So Stevie says, okay, but you have to ask our bass player. So I asked the bass player, I said, okay, if I sit in, with you and, have the drummer sit for a minute. And he kind of looked at me and, okay, it was kind of reluctant, but still nonetheless went ahead and was gracious enough to let me sit in with the guys. So I'm playing, and they videographed it. No orbs on the video, but I had a friend of mine just take pictures, somebody I just met that night, take pictures of me playing with the guys because I wanted to just capture that event. In that photograph, there are a number of orbs throughout the entire photo. I mean, they're all over the place. And I actually felt the spirit of Rick Rodriguez, almost like come into me. And we were playing Johnny Winter tune, a really nice blues song. It's My Own Fault, Baby. I've sung that over at Fitzgerald's.
Could be.
But yeah, the orbs were all over the place on picture, but on video, there was nothing. So I just felt like he was all around me. And after I got off, I felt the same way. So when we developed the photos, it was like, geez, that's what I was feeling, regardless of whether or not it was Rick Rod or not. I carry him around in my heart everywhere I go anyway. But I figured it would have to have been maybe even the spirits that were there that night at the blues place that just dug what I was doing. I don't know. Yeah. But it was a good groove, and it all worked out real well. It's kind of trippy.
We have lost a lot of people that loved Fitzgerald's.
Yeah.
And honestly, sometimes when Jim's describing that guy, I think it could be my friend Seven because he had the cowboy hat.
Oh no.
And he might have been in a white shirt sometime. Who knows?
Hey, if you can put, an entity to a certain thought process, like somebody that was wearing a hat, and you believe, hey, it could very well be. Then again, it could be another partner from another mother, just doing weird things.
Never know. Did you hear of the Psychoholics?
Who?
You might have heard of the Psychoholics because
Did you say sexaholics?
Psychoholics.
Oh, psychoholics.
The Psychoholics.
I have now.
Anyway, they're a local band from San Antonio. They were huge back in the day.
Okay.
They still had a good following. So the lead, he just like always wanted to do fun, crazy stuff. And anyway, a few months before, it was April 1st actually. And sadly, it wasn't a joke, but he passed away. That was last year. We already had his next show scheduled.
Oh my.
So something just pushed me to ask his band members, hey, you still want to do the Psychoholic show? I feel like Tim would have wanted it. And they were having the exact same idea.
Same feeling, same groove.
So it worked out that we had the Psychoholics, just without our number one frontman, the fun-loving Tim. He had this thing he created that shot out toilet paper into the audience. So he would do that.
The little bullet.
And then he'd get little ping pongs. And he was obsessed with like food and eyeballs. And he would draw little eyeballs on the ping pongs. And he had a thing that shot those out.
Oh, that's a funny character.
And,
Little cannon.
The one year he did 99 red balloons. So for this show, we actually had the toilet paper. We got some ping pongs. And we had like 99 red balloons again. You know, to keep it fun.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when I, one point I looked up on the stage and his friend Charlie George had his toilet paper thing. And it looked like he was having trouble with it. Suddenly, I could swear Tim was behind him. And at that moment, he became a master with that toilet paper thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I swear I saw Tim behind him. And then his bandmate and one of his best friends were singing the vocals. And I've heard him sing multiple times because he's got his own band. He's opened for the Psychoholics with his own band and played at least one other show there. And when he was
Psychoholics,
singing,
that's a name.
yeah, you know, I'm busy singing, and I thought, wow, you know, that sounds just like Tim singing. And I look up on the stage, and I swear he was Tim for a minute.
Oh my gosh.
It's like Tim went inside him.
Oh, you're a spooky gal.
And sung. No, you know what? I'm not the only one who felt that Tim was actually there.
Oh my gosh.
And I just got chills just talking about it.
Wow.
But I really do think that
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
No, it's okay. You know, it's a good
just
thing.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I know it doesn't mean that
Because
much.
that means he got
but
to be there for his last show.
I think that's fabulous, man. You know, and I do believe in spirit. I do believe that spirits linger. Good for the most part. I've never heard of a really bad spirit, so to speak. You know, nothing demonic like that. So let me ask you this. Does it ever get old? Does any of this ever get old? Because you're there night after night. You open up, what, at 7? Actually, you're there at 5.
We usually open up at 8 now,
Okay.
most nights.
So you get there, what, at 6 or 7 or what?
Yeah, around then, sometimes earlier. It depends on what's going
I mean,
on.
you know, and then you stay up and you stay open until 2, right? Closing at 2, correct?
Yeah, we close down at 2, so we're usually out of there. Well, it depends on the show. If it's really super busy and they're there late,
Yeah.
we might still be there at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh
but
my gosh.
For the most part, we're out of there by 2:30, 3:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
But like I said, it depends on the show.
Night after night, though, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would ask this question, does it ever get old? Or is it that every show just keeps you going?
Well, you know, every show is different.
Well, true that. True that.
And
Viva
you
la
know,
diferencia.
you get to, well, in my case, I get to hear a lot of fresh music
Sure.
because,
So
I'm
while you're
not-
working, your ears are just pinged to the music as well, right?
yeah, so I don't just have, and people send me stuff, so I have to listen to that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm probably the only person I know of that answers every single email. My sister's not actually always happy with, except for the spammers. You know, there's some people that have like their out of town, out of state tribute bands,
Out of
and
mind.
they're constantly sending just email after email, and you know they want thousands of dollars, and they're not going to bring the thousands of dollars because they're from Kentucky or whatever.
Sure.
You know, but anyway, I answer those once or twice, and then I just file them away because it's the same artist, but everybody else, I might not give them the answer they want to hear, but I answer them. And I actually listen to what they send me,
Uh-huh.
you know, because that's important. I don't I don't really want to book someone that's total. It happened once when I couldn't play her music,
Yeah.
and my sound guy was like, "This girl should not be touring, much less playing anywhere."
Well, you
And
know,
I'm
some
like,
people have the mighty pin behind them, but uh, maybe their playing might not be up to par.
well, her mom was bringing her around everywhere, so it was
Oh
probably
my
a,
gosh. Yeah.
you know,
Fly by night, or maybe. What do you think about jazz at your club?
you know, we tried having like jazz there.
Yeah.
In fact, I had this really, don't ask me their name, but I had a really, really good jazz artist. It wasn't from here.
Okay.
Come play here. And I can't remember if she just, for hours, it seems like she might have found some people to add, but we're just not the jazz club.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm not forcing that issue on you, but what about Ken Slavin?
Who?
One of my guys. Remember when I did the concert over there at your place on a Sunday
Oh,
about a
okay.
year and a half ago? Ken Slavin was my jazz guy. I put together a pretty
Okay.
eclectic group. I had blues, I had rock, and I don't know. There was a anyway. The international group, Henry Brunn, that I got a chance to play with as well, and then Ken Slavin. So really, what I tried to bring to your show or to your place, Fitzgerald's, was a very eclectic sound. It wasn't just one sound, but that's because this talk show supports all those styles of music. And I understand you've got a history of booking metal bands, and really it's known as a metal facility. That night, I wanted to bring something different to the place, and I want to thank you for allowing us to do that. Because Ken, that was his first time there, and I think they played phenomenally well. They did really well.
Yes.
All the bands did. And although we didn't have a really heavy turnout, it wasn't like that. Um, it was a success to me, and the musicians really dug it too. They dug the fact that they were all different genre, and that was my pay, was knowing that all these cats were actually enjoying it, and look forward to seeing the next guy and the next guy, because they were all different acts. So I lean towards versatility. But I see versatility in you booking these metal bands. You know, there's so many of them.
Well, we have rock, metal. We've had the blues and stuff, general hip hop. But what really does well there is the rock and metal. We're known for that.
Sure.
I did that thing with the albums that I'm sure you've seen
On
on
the
our
wall.
sound booth.
Yeah.
All the albums
Yes.
turned out pretty cool.
Oh, absolute.
So now I'm trying to get more albums to do because I want to do the whole thing like that, because that's just like a good look.
Well, that'll be
And then
fun.
I need to get some, whatever that hard plastic stuff's called, to put over it, because
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
someone tore
Yeah.
my Molly hatchet.
Plexiglass.
Huh?
Plexiglass.
Yes, plexiglass.
Yeah. That way you can screw things on the edge and keep everything nice and fresh,
Yeah, and protect them.
encapsulated. So anyway, now we've reached a part of the show where this is most memorable silly moments. It's a tongue twister, but I'm here to ask you possibly the silliest moments of what you can think of that may have occurred at your club, maybe from a gig. We've already talked about a couple, but I want you to really focus on what may have happened at a gig that's the most memorable silly moment. Can you think of anything?
The most memorable silly moment?
Yeah, something that happened that was really just goofy. For example, I'll go first. Crystal Winter was playing at the Teen Canteen. Shout out to all the Canteen guys and Sam Kinsey specifically. We were playing at Sam's place, and we were playing with a band called Clear. So it was a night with Crystal Winter and Clear. We were both winners of Battle of the Bands. Back then, we're talking 67, 68. And so my brother has this casino amp, and I think it had 412s or 410s. Regardless, it was a great little amp, loud as all get out. And then he added a 15-inch cabinet that we had built our own. So we added a big 15, and it stood as tall as a Marshall. And that night, our friend Vincent Coy, shout out to Vincent Coy, Rakowitz as well, he decided to, he asked my brother, well, what do you think if we were to hook up my Fender Twin to your casino, which is a tube amp, and run it in sequence? And Bob was like, hey, let's try that out. You know, they always run Marshalls together and get a louder sound. Well, they did that. They hooked up a Fender Twin with a casino, and Brother Bob and Vince Coy started playing these lead licks from Holy Hell. Loud as all get out, louder than I could have ever imagined coming off that stage. Even I was away from the stage and I could hear it, and it was just like, holy Toledo, that sounds really, really good. All of a sudden, they both stop, and you can hear Sam Kinsey say, Bob Ocampo, come to the front, please. Oh, no.
What
That's
did he
what
say?
he says, Bob Ocampo, come to the office, please.
Oh.
And you never wanted to be called out by Sam Kinsey. When he calls you to the office, you know it's over, you know.
Okay.
So Brother Bob was called, and he went and he got scolded for cranking it up like that. And I think he was saying, Vince made me do it, and Vince was saying, no, Bob made me do it. It was kind of funny because they were blaming it on each other. And I thought that's the most memorable selling moment with Bob Ocampo and Vincent Coy, guys that actually learned from the lead guitar player from, you had them on the show not too long ago. They'll come to me later. Yeah, you know, I'm having another brain fart there. But can you think of anything that was kind of funny that may have happened? We've already talked about a bunch of them, that's for sure.
Well, this
Not
wasn't
really?
like this, but before we actually took over, when the previous owner started
Yeah.
it was my second show. And nobody had told me anything about church next door. But there was this church next door, and apparently on Fridays you weren't allowed to start until 9:30. Well, nobody tells me this. So I had like 5 bands starting at 8:30 and on, right?
Yes.
So I show up, and my bands are there, and they're like, we've got a problem, you know, we can't start. So me and the bands were like working together, and I'm like, all right, you know, like I think out of the box pretty good. And I was just like, all right, can each of y'all like shave 10 minutes from your set? And we're just start at 9:30, and then everyone still gets to play. It's all good. So we worked it out, and I'm at the door, and I happen to have like 6 or 8 friends with me at the door. That was my first couple shows, how I rolled.
Okay.
Just all my friends came with me.
Sure.
After that, they're like, I don't know, I guess I was doing too many shows. But so we're at the door, and the old owner comes up, and he's mad, and he's all like, I need to talk to you right now. And he yells at me, and
Guy from the
come
church.
out here.
Guy from the church,
And
right?
I'm like, okay. So nothing to do with the church. I
Oh.
go outside. To this day, my friends don't like him. You know, because he comes in yelling at me like that, and, you know, they didn't know him. But anyway, I didn't really know him then.
It's a great
so I
way
go
to show
outside,
authority.
and he's going on and on about how the one guy from the band and his wife were like, he just caught him out in the parking lot smoking and drinking and
What were they smoking?
pot. So
How did I know that?
yes, so
That
they're
was a
out
trick
there
question.
getting their party on in the parking lot,
Sure.
which is something you should not do.
No, of course not.
But,
Never. Never.
I fully get it now.
Mm.
Because especially like FITZGERALDS, our parking lot's part of the, you know, it's connected to our building.
It's connected to a lot of places in the building, sure.
Yeah, TABC looks at that differently. They look at it as an extension of your building. Unlike, yeah, because you're right there. So if they're in your parking lot, you could be held responsible for that. if they
Okay.
were at your bar. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Anyway, he's going on. I tend to get sidetracked, sorry.
That's all right.
He's going on, he's going off, and he's saying something about how they can't play now. So a light bulb goes off in my head. And I go, oh, wait a minute. I said, are you saying they can't play? I'm like, that's perfect. I said, no one has to cut back their time. We'll just move everyone up an hour, and they just won't headline anymore. And he stopped, and he looks at me, and he's like, wait a minute. No, they can play, but I better not catch him doing that again.
Oh my gosh. So he was just biscuiting for biscuiting reasons, right?
What?
He was just bitching for bitching, so just to be a little on the bitchy side.
Well, he had a
Once
reason.
he saw y'all conforming,
He had a reason to be upset.
sure.
And honestly, in a way, it's good if the bands are acting up and you have a promoter there, it's good to let the promoter know. Of course, you shouldn't be yelling at him. You shouldn't yell at them in front of their friends.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, that's where your friends stick up for you. That's pretty cool.
But,
That's
I
great.
think I just threw him for a complete loop. He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wait a minute. He probably expected some pushback and me to be all like,
Well, he wanted to fight, maybe.
but I was just like, oh, all right, they won't play.
Oh my gosh. Then he decided otherwise. That's a great. What would you call that? Well.
I didn't
Well, you
purposely
got 'em.
do that, but I know
No,
what you're thinking.
Yeah, yeah. It just
Reverse
happened.
psychology?
That way. Reverse psychology. Thank you. Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even on purpose, though.
Yeah. It didn't sound like it, but it worked out to your benefit.
No, it did.
No?
No, it worked out.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he moved past it. Sometimes bands act up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
most of
all
them
in
are
a
good,
day's
though.
work, or in your case, morning and night. Night and morning. And I don't even know how you do it, girlfriend. I really don't.
Well, I
But,
sleep.
You sleep, for one, right?
I sleep during the day. Or I sleep in the morning. Like
Yeah.
when everyone's getting up, I'm about to go to sleep.
Yeah. What time do you wake up, by the way? 4?
Um,
About 4:30?
sometime between 1 and 3 usually.
That's too early,
but
man.
sometimes I get up a little later. It depends on if I have trouble sleeping. That usually happens if I stay up too late.
Well, you're always a little wired. I know, like bands, we play, and it takes us a long time to come down from the high. It's not that we're high so much on stage, but when we play, the adrenaline, it doesn't turn off. When you come off this, and all you guys know this, every guy that's a musician knows this, we can finish up and be done by 2, and we can't rest until maybe 3:30, 4. Even when we're in bed, we still can't rest. And so it's a kind of trippy thing, but all you guys know all about it. The musicians, we all know all about it. I'm just wondering whether or not that happens to you too. Are you keyed up like that? All the time do you get keyed up?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable, right?
It's what?
Inevitable. I'm using long word terminology. It happens. It happens, right?
I sometimes, when I'm running around working, then I'm all revved up. I'm into it,
Yes.
Um,
And then after hours, I mean, sometimes you just can't turn it off. So we're at the part where we would be able to do shout outs to anybody that you know in the business, outside of the business. So if you have any shout outs, and most people that I would have on would be doing shout outs to you and FITZGERALDS, namely me. But who would you want to give shout outs to, giving credit to people that you know in the outside world, anybody that you're thinking about saying a hello to? Because this is your show, baby.
you know what? There's just so many people. I think I will start with Victor Hinojosa, and I'm probably saying that wrong.
Hinojosa.
Okay, there you go. Thank you
Victor
for the help.
Hinojosa?
Okay, so
Where's he from?
I think he's from San Antonio.
Okay.
But
Musician?
anyway, he had recently reached out to me like a few months back about doing shows at FITZGERALDS.
Okay.
So I gave him these 2 dates. He is totally professional, on point, And last night he had a second show. In fact, I was working on a post. I'm going to post probably just basically like him. I've half of my staff, at least, if not all of my staff, was commending him on just how they liked to work with him, and he was so professional. And I saw him up there when the bands were, and you don't see this with most promoters.
Yeah.
Even I did it a little bit before we took over Fitzgerald when I had my own shows, but now it's like, even when I have my own show for San Antonio All Original Musical Talents, I'm still Fitzgerald, so I'm kind of double duty, and it's hard to like.
Hard to break
You know,
away
but-
and do everything. You can't do everything.
He was up there when the bands were switching off. He had like 5 bands, and when they were switching off, he was right there with them. And I
I heard that. I was with my guys that night we did the concert. That's the only way to be. You can't really be away
Yes.
from the people that you book. You need to help them in some way or another, you know. Or at
Very.
minimum, just be there, just in case somebody needs something, you know, taken care of.
Yeah, you need to be there for everyone. You should communicate with the door guy. You should be communicating with the sound guy. You should be communicating with me, of
With you,
course, if you're at
absolutely.
Fitzgerald's,
Yeah,
and with your bands. You know, bands actually like that, and if you can help keep them on track,
sure.
that helps the venue.
Yeah.
Just so seamless. And then, of course, Mike, I hope I remember this right, but it's Nellet. I think his construction company is Nellet, or you nail it, or we nail it. Anyway, he's got a construction company.
Okay. Mike, the
And-
construction guy.
His sons basically own Big Star Music Academy.
Oh, okay. Big star.
So, but he fixed our stage. So I don't know if you remember all the soft spots it used to have if you were ever up there then.
You know, I don't recall that. When did he fix the stage, though? How long ago?
Last year,
See, I think he had already fixed it by the time I had played.
maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But he
'Cause I've
did
never experienced that.
the best job ever. My old sound guy Winston comes in and looking at the stage, and he's like, "Wow, this is really nice." He goes, "If I had known they were going to do a professional job, I had some once." And I'm like, "Well, are you still working here?"
Oh my gosh.
Would I
Wow.
give him your once? But anyway, definitely him.
Mhm.
And everybody should check out. They're coming back soon. Dime Store Riot.
Dime Store Riot.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember where they're from, but they are just a really great, energetic rock band. They're not from Texas, but they are so good and just very supportive of the other bands they play with, and very energetic. They have that look. You know, they have everything that a good band needs to have, in my opinion. And much like Drowning Mona does, and Seance and Bifrost, and then
There's a band that I really want to put forth over there, and I don't know that they'll ever do it, but Piñata Protest. I'd love
Oh, yeah, I
to
reached
have
out
them
to
over
'em.
there. Yeah. Have you?
once I wanted them to
They said that's not necessarily their venue, but I'm saying any place is your venue, man. We'll make it your venue for that night.
yeah, well, I wanted them to open for
That might have been your
the
gig.
Three Little Pigs.
Yeah, they
What
don't
is
open
that?
for anybody. They,
Well, that's
they are, they
basically what he
act.
told me. Like, if they're on the same level or higher
Sure.
than that band, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't know, because I just asked, like, who would be the best, punk rock band, because I don't really follow punk rock.
Yeah, they're a Mexican punk rock band, though. So it's really a riot. What they do
they
is
would've
really,
been-
really original.
They
And
would have
I-
been good, but
if you can imagine punk rock with accordion going on as opposed to shredding leads, you know.
Green Jello,
Who?
Green Jelly, who has their number one hit, The Three Little Pigs. You know,
I hadn't even known.
little pig, let me in. Anyway, they get everyone. They played there a couple times, so I wanted them to open for them. But they have little piggy heads, and they invite all the audience to get one and put it on.
Oh my gosh.
And they're bringing them up on the stage. So like I said, Big Star fixed my stage, right? Oh, this was the funny thing that happened. Before Big Star had fixed the stage, Green Jelly's up there. And it turns out they had the most, a record number of little piggies on the stage that they've ever had.
How wonderful
and at
is that?
Point, that's when we had like all these soft spots on the stage, right?
Sure.
So there's like 40 people up there just jumping up and down with Green Jelly, right? Suddenly my friend looks at me and he goes, "You think the stage rolled?"
Well, you know, that was a good test for the stage,
And
right?
I'm like, oh my God, I was not stressing out until you said that.
Wow. Well, all I know is that it's been a gas talking to you and everything. And we're pretty much rounding off things real quick. And this is one of the songs of which you had on your Facebook page. So I thought I'd add it to the groove. But such a pleasure to have had you on this evening.
Oh, thank
And
you.
there'll be so much more I know that we have in store for both of us. And maybe some of the bands of which I booked. Love to do that again with you. So thank you for coming on the show. Miss Sharon Perkins from FITZGERALDS. And what's that address again? Just for a second.
437 McCarty Road.
437, right? 437
101.
McCarty Road, right at, well, the intersection would be San Pedro and Loop 410, the closest area right around there. You know, but McCarty Road is right down the street outside of Loop 410.
It's directly behind where Maggie's used to be.
Yeah, Maggie's, for those of you, that used to run with Maggie's crowd.
And then Rosario's North, which now I think it's going to be a bookstore or something crazy.
A bookstore would be cool. I don't know. I thought they were going out with the computer age. You know, nothing really sticks anymore.
Yeah, I'm probably remembering that wrong. It's just, all I know is it's not a restaurant or a bar, so it just seems like weird.
Right. Well, anyway, we're at that moment. We're going to let these guys take over for just a short while. But for San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network, this has been the Sharon Perkins Show. And we don't know if we're going to share this tonight or in the morning, because I hate to put it out this evening when everybody's crashed out. But trust me, we're going to review it, and then it'll be out shortly. Okay, is that cool with you?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
say ta-ta to your listening audience. They're right there with the little blue.
Goodbye. Thank you for joining, and sorry for my long-winded stories.
No, I thought that was great. I thought that was fabulous. There you go, guys.